Hey YouTube, this is KingCobraJFS with another video. Okay, so now you see this here cigarette butt. You think there's no tobacco in it. Look right there. Watch this. Believe it or not, there is. Because that was a poor example of what I'm talking about here. So let's see if we get another cigarette butt here I can use. You look right here, this has obviously got some tobacco in it. Or just squeeze it into my hand here, make it easier. Yeah, that's all emptied. A lot of tobacco that was in there. Yeah, you think to yourself, wow. But yeah, when you're out of cigarettes, you do what you gotta do, right? At least it's better than digging out someone else's ashtray. But because of that, you actually have a full bowl of tobacco. Not quite a full bowl here, but here's another one. Oh, the interesting thing about doing this is if you squeeze the cigarette butts out of your own ashtray, is that for your pipe, is that you know, you never know what kind of tobacco you're gonna get because the labels have been burned off. So I always see a cigarette butt. So you might get menthol, you might get regular. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And you know what? That's a damn tasty bowl of vodka to light. Scotch. Vodka. Cigarette butts, yeah. It's got a caramel taste to it, if that makes any sense. I know that sounds weird, but. Oh, man. That's harsh. Oh. Well, I got 6 more days till I get paid, so. Ooh. The last payday video, I had to take care of bills in the middle of a split shift while it was raining, hailing, and windy. I was smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, it could be worse. So, yeah. I'll even upload the video later on, if need be. I can remember where I put it. I know I uploaded it to my computer and forgot about it. Sometimes I do that. I'll record a video on my cell phone, upload it to my computer for YouTube, and then I'll forget about it. Well, pipe tobacco is a lot cheaper than cigarettes, but the con to it is that it doesn't have nearly as much nicotine as a cigarette does. And there's more to it than just, you could just light it and go, but then as soon as it goes out, you have to light it again. So, these pipe tools, these things come in really handy, so. You're supposed to inhale your pipe. Well, it's cigarette tobacco on a pipe. And either way, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? To each his or her own. It's okay in New York City. Cigarettes are $10 a pack. Holy shit. I couldn't imagine, man. They're trying to get people to quit smoking by raising the crap out of them. That's ridiculous, dude. The thing of it is, people quit smoking. Now, there's a pro to it. You live longer, but the negative to it is that it hurts our economy. Because let's face it, the only thing making our economy any fucking money now is the alcohol and tobacco, and energy drinks. But they're bad for you, and that's why people do them, because it's bad for them. Let's face it, our nation has this addiction, and quite frankly, I don't give a shit. Like I said, to each case their own. Oh, but soda pop and fast food are unhealthy for you. Yeah, and so? What isn't these days? Hell, you get cancer from talking on a cell phone. Believe that shit? God. Well, anyway, I have Saturday and Sunday off, so Saturday I'll be going on another ZRT run, and Sunday I'll just kind of chill out and relax. So, yeah. We're missing a piece. Oh, here it is. There we go. I have a grenade pin on my necklace. It's on the right side. It's the right side, left side. I know it looks different from the YouTube camera, but yeah. Not bad for bedhead, huh? I get out of bed, my hair's all fluffed up. Nice. I'll give a shout out to Adam McLaughlin. Hope I pronounced that right. He did this kick-ass drawing for me on Facebook. It's a cobra. It's pretty awesome. So, which ironically enough, I was reading some of the comments that trolls were leaving on YouTube, and it was starting to piss me off because they're saying the same shit they've been saying every fucking day for the past year now. Oh, you're tone deaf. Oh, you're this and that. And then it's like, well, when you first saw the videos, you didn't say that, but then after seeing that, you're just continuing to say the same shit over and over and over. The whole point of that video wasn't to sing above the artist or sing below the artist. It was with the artist, like karaoke, if that makes any sense. And if you listen correctly, you actually hear I'm actually singing exactly like the artist. But it just seems pointless trying to convince a bunch of retards on YouTube and I'm actually being able to sing, because they're still going to say, you can't sing, you know, that's just the mentality of it, really, and it's ridiculous, but whatever. Yeah. Shout out to Damien Barron. Thanks for the support. Is there anything on YouTube worth reviewing? Probably not. Let's see, any videos I can... Young Turks recently uploaded a video. It says 10 hours ago, mass blanket surveillance, Obama is not the change.
President Obama, when he was running for office...
Hold on a second. I gotta get a bowl of cereal. I'm hungry. Yeah, I skip breakfast because I don't have time for it, but I think, yeah, but then I'm always hungry and I have no energy. It's just like, ugh. So, I get a bowl of cornflakes here. Because every day should start off with a nutritious breakfast. That sounds cliche to say, but it's true. Usually I'm working late nights. I don't get up in time to have breakfast. I get up, I sleep all day, and then I ride my bike to work, and then I ride home. So I think if I just get up. And there's a lot of people who do not like President Obama because of, you know, past events like trying to get our guns banned or shit like that. But, cornflakes. Because I skip breakfast when I actually get in the mood to eat it, I go to check and my milk's all spoiled, but the milk ain't spoiled today, so that's good. Because I don't get paid till next Wednesday, I try to conserve what little food I have so I don't eat it all and then run out of food and be hungry as fuck all the time. So yeah, it's part of living on your own, budgeting your money, and something I've never been good at. But starting Wednesday, I'm taking $250 of my check to go towards rent for next month. That way, it won't be nearly as much to pay it when I go to pay it, and internet's not due for quite some time. So yeah, get rid of budgeting my money. I'll have more money for other things like cigarettes and alcohol. So.
Back in 2008 was very clear. He was going to make a big change from the Bush years. Now, the Bush years involved a lot of civil liberties abuses and spying in on U.S. citizens, and I know that that is one thing they were not going to do because that's what Barack Obama told them.
This administration also puts forward a false choice between the liberties we cherish and the security we provide. I will provide our intelligence and law enforcement agencies with the tools they need to track and take out the terrorists without undermining our Constitution and our freedom. That means no more illegal wiretapping of American citizens. No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime.
Okay, here's the thing. If Bush has to illegally wiretap citizens to figure shit out, then it means one of two things. One, America's more fucked up than we realized, and two, it means the government doesn't trust us. Let me give you an example of what I mean here. I'm willing to bet that we have a lot of simple rules to follow, but because of the fact that we break the rules we're given, so I have to make more rules to enforce those rules. And I'm willing to bet you that's what's going on. I'll give you an example of what I mean here. And growing up in my parents' house, they had simple rules to follow. And every time I break a rule, they add more rules to enforce it. And I break those rules, and then I just continue on and be constant fighting in the house. And to quote my dad, "Josh, bud, we hate punishing you, but goddamn it, we have simple rules to follow in this house." So yeah. One of the most awesome things of living on my own is that I can make my own goddamn rules. Yeah. So, believe me, living on my own is the most amazing thing I've done so far, next to getting Stephanie. So, yeah. Between meeting Stephanie and getting my own apartment, two things I thought I'd never do: get a girlfriend, get my own place. Because I was spent, my entire high school and junior high life chasing girls and getting rejected left and right. Believe me, when you have autism, that kind of adds to it. Now, normally you get rejected by a girl, it sucks, yeah, blah, blah, whatever, but I took it kind of personal because of my autism. Well, that's what I was told. It's because of autism, we take things literally, And I hate saying that on YouTube because people are going to say shit like, "Stop blaming your autism for everything, goddammit." It's like, don't tell me what to fucking do, you fucking cocksucker. Okay. Cornflakes. Another reason why I don't eat breakfast is because I don't want to get fat. Yes, I'm telling you I have a bit of an eating disorder, and if I get fat or just a little pudge, I get self-conscious of my weight, and I fucking hate it. But to quote a Korn song, "Let the guilt go, let the guilt go." Oh. I figure if I'm riding my bike everywhere, I'm getting the exercise I need, so whatever.
No more tracking citizens who do nothing more than protest a misguided war. No more ignoring the law when it is inconvenient. That is not who we are. It's not what is necessary to defeat the terrorists. The FISA court works. The separation of powers works. Our Constitution works. We will again set an example.
Wait, did you say our Constitution works? Oh my God, the hypocrisy of it. He says, "Our Constitution works," and then he turns around and tries to get guns banned. Okay. Now, I'll argue both sides for you. Now, the gun side saying, "Don't take away our guns. I ain't going to stop a criminal from breaking into your house and shooting you as soon as you get guns banned because you want to obey the law." Yeah, that's true. Yet at the same time, guns aren't really doing anything for us except killing people. The thing of it is, though, sometimes guns aren't always used to kill people. Sometimes they're used for sport. They're used for sport sometimes. You want an example? Hickok 45. He's got a shooting range. He goes up on YouTube, says, "Hey, YouTube, check out the gun I'm shooting today." Bing! You know what I'm saying? And shoots them. Yeah. But American citizens, when a loved one gets murdered in a gang violence, or one of their loved ones is accidentally shot with a gun they have in the house, and it's tragic, it is. But then you look overseas. What are our troops doing? Using guns to kill other people for your freedom. So, yeah. Guns for protection has become home destruction.
Example for the world that the law is not subject to the whims of stubborn rulers and that justice is not arbitrary.
Wrong again, Bob. Turns out he didn't mean it. We find out through a great piece of reporting at The Guardian that, in fact, the government has been spying in on us.
What?
Now, he was very technical there, listing all these different specific things that we weren't going to do. He said we were going to go through a FISA court. It turns out they did go through a FISA court. Good job on them. Now, did they not spy on U.S. citizens? Not remotely the case. In fact, right there, if you notice, he said this quote, "No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime." Now, the reality is they didn't use national security letters as far as we know. They used a different provision of a Patriot Act, which allowed them to spy on all U.S. citizens. Now, the story's about Verizon, but other people who've worked at the NSA confirm that it is, in fact, true of all the different phone carriers. So we'll find out more about that as we probably continue to get more leaks. But the leak we have today is about Verizon and apply.
Can you hear me now, government? Sorry, I had to do that. Oh.
So 121 million Americans. Are they all suspected terrorists? Is that what's happening? Well, let's find out exactly what our government is up to. Now, first of all, remember that a couple of senators had warned us about this because they had seen this secret program. It's classified, so they couldn't talk about it. But Senator Ron Wyden and Mark Udall had said there is now a significant gap between what most Americans think the law allows and what the government secretly claims the law allows. They went on to say, we believe that most Americans would be stunned to learn the details of how these secret court opinions have interpreted the business records provision of the Patriot Act. Well, turns out they were right. A lot of people are stunned today. Now, the provision they're talking about is the business records provision of the Patriot Act, which is 50 U.S.C. Section 1861. Well, what have they used that for? To grossly violate our rights. As Glenn Greenwald at The Guardian explains in a story he broke, quote, the document that they have obtained shows for the first time that under the Obama administration, the communication records of millions of U.S. citizens are being collected indiscriminately and in bulk, regardless of whether they are suspected of any wrongdoing. Goes on to explain, the order, a copy of which has been obtained by The Guardian, requires Verizon on an ongoing daily basis to give the NSA information on all telephone calls in its systems, both within the U.S. and between the U.S. and other countries. All of their calls. All of it. Now remember, in the original charter of the NSA, they were supposed to be looking outward. They weren't supposed to spy on us. And after 9/11, that began to change, and Congress began to give them more and more authority. And what did they do with that authority? Of course, they immediately went on to abuse it. In fact, we've had reports like this from insiders like William Binney for a long time. This is simply a confirmation because we have a concrete document on our hand that shows the federal government telling Verizon, give me all of your calls, and I'm going to explain what's in that in a second, and it is internal and domestic. They explain, under the terms of the blanket order, the numbers of both parties on a call are handed over, as is location data, call duration, unique identifiers, and the time and duration of all calls. The contents of the conversation itself are not covered. So the one thing they don't hear for now, as far as we know, is what's in the conversation. But they know everybody and who they all called. So if they want to track you, now, they say, of course, oh, we're only going after Al-Qaeda and terrorists. So are 121 million customers of Verizon all Al-Qaeda terrorists? That's absurd, of course. And if they wanted to track you individually, they don't like you. You're a reporter who has reported on something that makes them look bad. For example, this story. Can they track the people that you have called? Yes. Can they look in to see if you called your bookie? Oh, well, you look at that. That's technically illegal. Oh, you got medicinal marijuana. Well, that's legal in your state, but it's against federal law. If I don't like you as the government, there's a lot of ways to target you. Of course, the number one way that they usually go after people who are actually going after bankers, the powerful, or the politicians is escort services. Oh, well, you look at that. That's a known escort service that you called. Well, what a wonderful break I happened to catch in this investigation. This is why you don't target American citizens. This is why we have a Constitution. This is why we have a Fourth Amendment. But apparently President Obama doesn't give a damn about that. Guardian also explains the secret Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court granted the order to the FBI on April 25th, giving the government unlimited authority to obtain the data for a specified 3-month period ending on July 19th. Now understand that this is the particular document that the Guardian has received. So it's a 3-month period, and it applies to all the calls that Verizon has. Now, very likely, there are many other documents just like that for periods before that and periods after that, and for other companies as well. They're tracking all of our calls. We're now all suspected terrorists. This is exactly what they said they wouldn't do. In fact, President Obama, back in 2005, when he was still in the Senate, co-sponsored a bill with, of all people, Larry Craig. It was called the SAFE Act, but it was a very good idea. It said the government must have specific and articulable facts to show that a person is an agent of a foreign power before seizing their phone records. Now, are we all agents of a foreign power? Now remember, President Obama said we should never get these records unless we are agents, or the government suspects that we are agents of a foreign power. Now, what happened to that President Obama? What happened to that senator back in 2005? What happened to the guy running in 2008 who kept telling us pretty little lies about how he was going to bring us change and how he wasn't going to do what President Bush did? Now, to be fair, President Bush did warrantless wiretapping. Here they go to a court, and what use is this court? And the FISA court says, oh, you'd like to track the phone records of all American citizens? Stamp. Yeah, you got it. Go ahead. But this is broader than the Bush administration, because the Bush administration tracks specific people. Here, they're tracking everyone. Now, Jeffrey Rosen, a law professor at George Washington University, explains, this business records provision that they're referring to, it does not seem to justify blanket mass surveillance. So what you're probably seeing all over the news today is, yeah, I know, but it's legal, it's fine, it's legal. No, not necessarily. It's not legal or constitutional to do blanket mass surveillance of the entire American population. It is just called it legal. That doesn't make it legal. He explains, or Gregory Nojum, Center for Democracy and Technology, explains, it doesn't make sense to think that only Verizon customers are talking to terrorists. Certainly it's broader than that, and the government should tell us how broad it is. That's exactly right. And we'll go back to William Binney, who spent 3 to 4 decades at the NSA, almost 4 decades.
Hold that thought. My bowl in the sink here. There we go. And it doesn't have to be much. I mean, if you make an effort to eat breakfast, at least you're making an effort to be better towards yourself.
He said, NSA has been doing all this stuff all along. And it's been all those companies, not just one. They're just continuing the collection of this data on all U.S. citizens. And William Binney would know about that because he resigned from the NSA because of the mass surveillance that they were doing on U.S. citizens. When William Binney said it, people were like, oh, yeah, of course, he's not powerful enough. We're not going to listen to William Binney. He saw it with his own eyes, but we're not going to listen to him. But now we've broken stories after story, and now there are actual orders that we have seen and The Guardian has documented. Now, James Bamford, who's a journalist and an author, who's been covering these issues for a long time, says, here we are, under the Obama administration, doing it sort of like the Bush administration on steroids. This order here is about as broad as it can possibly get when it comes to focusing on personal communications. Bush administration on steroids. And he explains, there's no warrant, there's no suspicion, there's no probable cause. It sounds like something from East Germany. We're all guilty, of course, until proven innocent. Now, the NSA, since they keep saying, oh, this is all above board, there's no problems whatsoever. Well, when we asked them about it, I'm sure that they said, no, of course, we are spying on all of you. Oh, well, you look at the record and it turns out that's not what they said. NSA spokesman Vanny Vine said, NSA collects, monitors, and analyzes a variety of foreign signals and communications for indications of threats to the United States and for information of value to the U.S. government. So she emphasized back then, foreign. In fact, she went on to say, foreign, and all those asterisks were in her memo, in her statement. Foreign is the operative word. NSA is not an indiscriminate vacuum collecting anything and everything. That was a lie. They did collect everything and anything. It was not just foreign. It was domestic. Now, are people going to look into the NSA spokesperson and making sure she's fired? Well, they'd also have to look into the head of the NSA, who was asked by Representative Hank Johnson during hearings. Hank Johnson asked him, what judicial consent is required for NSA to intercept communications and information involving American citizens. Well, NSA's Director Keith Alexander said, quote, "We're not authorized to do it, nor do we do it." Turns out he also lied. They do it, and they have been doing it for a long time, and it is mass surveillance of U.S. citizens. Now, will any of them get fired? Probably not. This is the one thing that the Republicans generally agree with President Obama. Yes, go ahead, spy on all of us. Constitution, who cares about that? The Republicans care about the Second Amendment. They certainly don't care about the Fourth or the Fifth Amendment. That part of the Constitution is optional for most of them, not Rand Paul and some libertarians, but a great majority of the Republicans. This is the one thing that they stand with President Obama on. Yes, abuse American rights. In fact, let me go to Lindsey Graham here. Lindsey Graham bragged about how he's a Verizon customer, and don't worry, the government's also spying in on him. Let's go to that.
Should we all be concerned?
Well, I think we should be concerned about terrorists trying to infiltrate our country and attack us and trying to coordinate activities from overseas with inside the country. It's happening in our own backyard, and I'm glad the NSA is trying to find out what terrorists are up to overseas and inside the country. I'm a Verizon customer. I don't mind Verizon turning over records to the government if the government's going to make sure that they try to match up a known terrorist phone with some...
A known terrorist, huh? Okay, pardon me for doing this. I gotta do it. 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 Okay.
Ahmed, the dead terrorist. Good evening, Ahmed.
Good evening, infidel.
So you're a terrorist.
Yes, I am a terrorist.
What kind of terrorist?
A terrifying terrorist. Are you scared?
Not really, no.
And now?
Not really, no.
How about now?
No?
God damn it. I mean, Allah, damn it. Silence! I kill you!
So, Ahmed...
No, it's Ahmed.
That's what I said.
No, you said Ahmed. It's Ahmed.
It's okay. I took that Verizon bastard with me. Oh, okay, back to the Young Turks video.
Biden in the United States. I don't think you're talking to terrorists. I know you're not. I know I'm not, so we don't have anything to worry about. I'm glad the activity is going on, but it is limited to tracking people who are suspected to be terrorists and who they may be talking to.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to be, but are you sure they're still doing that?
Yes, I'm sure
Okay.
that's what they're
So
doing.
this is
and that's
not
what
new to you.
I'm sure we should be doing this.
So there you have it. Lindsey Graham, who never agrees with the administration on anything, saying on this one, no, I'm with you. Yeah, good. Track everybody. If you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to worry about? Well, Lindsey Graham, if that's true, if you're not doing anything wrong, you're not talking to terrorists, all right, let me go into your computer and track all the websites that you've been on. Let me track all the phone conversations you're having. What? You got a problem with that? Well, if you're not talking to a terrorist and you're not going to visit terrorist websites, obviously you shouldn't have a problem with it. Give me all of your emails. I want to see every single site you've been on, Lindsey Graham, whether it was in the office or at home. You ready to turn that over? Well, maybe you should, because there's another program called Prism, where the government has access to those as well. Isn't this amazing? I mean, here, of course, the administration says, oh, on its face, they're not necessarily agreeing that this is true, but they're saying, quote, on its face, the order reprinted in the article does not allow the government to listen in on anyone's telephone calls.
What websites would you be on at home, I wonder? Probably some random porn site. For all we know, it could be Barack Obama spanking Hillary Clinton with a horse riding crop when she's wearing a ball gag. Yeah, let that sink in. Gross. Oh.
It relates exclusive to metadata, such as telephone number or the length of a call. So, how long did you talk to your hooker? Did you have phone sex with her or not? I didn't listen in on the phone sex, but I do have who you called. Did you call your mistress? If you did, well, the government knows. Big Brother knows everything. Quote, it allows counterterrorism personnel to discover whether known or suspected terrorists have been in contact with other persons who may be engaged in terrorist activities, particularly people located inside the United States. The idea is all 121 million Verizon customers are suspected terrorists. We need to track all of your phone calls. Just
Damn to switch to AT&T. No one will suspect them. Just kidding.
in case. If this isn't Big Brother, what in the world is? Now, let me skip ahead to Sexby Chambliss here, because he's also going to have the president's back. Another guy who never agrees with the president, except on this. There's nothing particularly new, he says. Every member of the United States Senate has been advised of this, and to my knowledge, we have not had any citizen who has registered a complaint relative to the gathering of this information. I love that. He says, this is nothing new. I mean, we've been spying on you forever. You just didn't know it. Oh, wow, that makes me feel so much better. And I love the bit at the end. No citizen has complained about this. That's because they didn't know. This is the first time we found out about it publicly. So how the hell would we have known to complain? Here, if it makes you feel better, Sexby Chambliss, I am lodging an official complaint.
Okay, let's just say this. Anything you do, the government will find out. Anything the government does, we'll find out. So, yeah. That's what I've noticed. That's the pattern I've noticed. Is anything that we do, the government finds out eventually. Anything that they do, we eventually find out. Example, Area 51. Now, back in the day, the government's like, there is no such thing as Area 51. It does not exist. Blah 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 blah. Somehow you catch photos of it. We're like, then what the hell is this? They're like, well, that appears to be Area 51. But we're not experimenting on aliens or anything like that. No, Area 51 does exist, but, it's like, wait a second, you just got done telling us it doesn't exist. Now we're proving to you it does exist, now you're saying aliens is,
I don't want you to track my phone calls, okay? Now that I know, I am complaining, and I'm saying, as a citizen of the United States, stop spying on me. Now,
what's wrong, sir? Are you a terrorist? He's like, yeah, you plan to... I'm just kidding.
how about the Democrats? So, of course, they're going to jump to the rescue here as well. It's their Democratic president, Harry Reid, who used to be so outraged by the Bush administration. Quote, right now I think everyone should just calm down and understand this isn't anything that's brand new. We've been violating your rights forever. The same guy when Bush did it was outraged. I can't believe he's doing this to our civil liberties. When Obama does it, he's like, oh, great, just calm down. You still thought you had your constitutional rights? We shredded those a long time ago. Then we go to Senator Dianne Feinstein. She says the records can only be accessed under heightened standards. Really? What heightened standards? You took everybody's records. In fact, you literally can't have standards that are less heightened than that. There's no standard at all. You have all of our records. These politicians lie through their teeth and with impunity because both sides agree. Republicans and Democrats both agree we shouldn't have rights. Dianne Feinstein goes on to say some really...
Okay, Democrats and Republicans are agreeing on something? Holy crapola. It's the end of the world. I'm just kidding.
questionable things. One, she said, I read the intelligence carefully, and I know that people are trying to get us. Oh, they're trying to get to us. Okay, well then, let's violate everybody's rights. And she says, and it's to ferret this out before it happens. Oh, good. I'm glad the pre-crime division is on it. So before any of you act, we've got to spy in on all of you. Otherwise, how would we know who has an intention to act unless we assume you're all guilty? She says, and this is chilling, it's called protecting America. And she went on to talk about how we have to protect the homeland. Thank you, Senator Feinstein. We appreciate, the homeland appreciates your service. How chilling is that? Now, Senator Intelligence Vice Chair Saxby Chambliss, we go back to the Republicans with their rah-rah. It has proved meritorious because we have gathered significant information on bad guys, he says, but only on bad guys over the years. Now, how could you have collected information only on bad guys if you collected information on all of us? Their lies are unbelievable.
The way they probably see it as, they go, well, we don't know who's a bad guy, who's a good guy, so we're gonna like tap everyone's phones to make sure we get the bad guys. And that means going through all the bullshit and getting to the good guys, then fine. But as long as we get this bad guy, you know what I'm saying? That's probably their justifiable excuse.
Except we've gotten so used to them now. I think people want the homeland kept safe to the extent that we can. The homeland must be kept safe. Well, Republicans and Democrats, ranging from Stuttgart to Frankfurt, all agree. The homeland is most important and must be kept safe. I understand privacy. Senator Chambliss understands privacy. We want to protect people's private rights, and that's why this is carefully done. What in the world is careful about taking 121 million people's phone records and tracking them all? We carefully and meticulously track you all. That's basically what she's saying. I believe that I saw this movie before.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Both sides agree, Republicans and Democrats. Thunderous applause to the evisceration of our liberty. Has this happened to our great country? Is this what America has become? You remember President Obama, at the very beginning of this, we showed you a clip where he said, that is not who we are. Unfortunately, partly and largely due to President Obama, that is exactly what we have become. This is the guy who was supposed to bring us change.
Yeah, but you also said it started with Bush. And Bush had a lot of ties to a lot of shit, I imagine. So he's just doing I imagine he tried to change our country, but somewhere along the line he's like, look, Mr. President, you may be the president, but you don't understand how this works. So we're going to have you do things our way. Otherwise, we're going to kick you out of office and throw you in prison for going against your country. He's like, yeah, but I want to change the country for the better of the good. He's like, hey, that's not going to happen. You're going to... And so instead of them, whoever's portraying President Obama's getting the blame, President Obama takes the blame because it's easier that way. I wanted to bet President Obama was a puppet on someone's hand, but whose hand is he on? Think about that for a second. Anyway, this is KingCobraJFS with another video, another morning video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.